adjust your violin shoulder rest? Keep watching to find out. If we haven't met, hi, I'm Megan. I'm a violinist and teacher who's been playing for over 20 years. I have both my bachelor's and master's degrees in violin performance. I'm a Suzuki-trained teacher, and I have taught over 200 adult students, which is absolutely crazy to say. If you are enjoying my videos, please consider subscribing to my channel and check out the online violin academy that has hundreds of video tips and tutorials just like this one. I'll leave the link down in the description. Without further ado, let's talk about how to adjust your violin shoulder rest. Playing the violin is not a very natural position, and it's important that we try to be as comfortable as possible. So the idea behind using a shoulder rest is so that your shoulders can stay level and your neck can stay relatively tension-free. So if you're noticing any type of pain, discomfort, if you're noticing that you're raising your shoulder, that's a sign that you probably need to adjust your shoulder rest. So I first want to start out by saying that all violin shoulder rests are a little bit different, and I can only show you with the one I have. The one I have is a Viva shoulder rest, and it is pretty standard. So if you have a Kuhn or any of the more mainstream shoulder rests, then you should be able to follow this tutorial just fine and adjust your shoulder rest to where it needs to go. However, if you have perhaps a Bond Musica or another different type of specialized shoulder rest, this video might not be the one for you, and you might want to type in the name of your shoulder rest if you are searching for videos on how to adjust it. Another disclaimer, I've had this shoulder rest since I was 12 years old, and yes, it is falling apart, but I love it so much that I don't want to get rid of it. So please don't mind my little hair ties. So there are essentially two ways that you can adjust your shoulder rest using just the shoulder rest itself, and then we can of course adjust the placement on the violin. So the first way you can adjust it is by widening or shortening the length of the leg. So you can see right here, I have a screw, and then there are 3 holes. So I'm gonna unscrew this screw right here. So mine is on the middle screw, but I can put it on the bottom screw and make it a little bit wider, or I can put it on the top screw and make it a little bit shorter. So if you're finding that your violin shoulder rest is just not fitting on your violin, it needs to either be a little bit wider or a little bit shorter, then that is how you can adjust it. Also want to note that both sides do not have to be on the same hole. So if this one is on the middle hole, but this one is on the the third hole, then that's totally fine. It doesn't matter. You can also adjust the height of your shoulder rest leg. So as you can see, my legs are essentially screwed into the base of the shoulder rest. And if I unscrew the leg, that's going to make my shoulder rest taller. You can see it's coming out, and that's going to make it taller. And if I screw the leg in, that is going to make it shorter. And again, these legs do not have to be on the same height. You can see that this leg for me is pretty screwed in, like pretty close to the base of the shoulder rest, but this one has a little bit more room. It's because this side goes over here, and I need a little bit more support over here just by the way our body is shaped. Also, if your legs are just not long enough, you have a really long neck, you need even more length, there's 2 things you can do. One, they sell extra long shoulder rest legs on Amazon, so you can buy extra long legs, or you can place a cloth or a pad. It's usually right here, but wherever you need a little bit more height. We can also adjust the placement of our shoulder rest on the violin. So when we put our shoulder rest on the violin, we want it to be making a frowny face. That's what I like to say. So the shorter side goes on the same side as the chin rest, and then the taller side goes on the opposite side. It's always easier for me to imagine that frowny face though. And then of course you can adjust it. You need it to be a little bit higher up on your violin, or do you want it to be a little bit farther down? You can also make it a little bit more diagonal. Again, you kind of have to experiment with this and just see what feels best for you and your body, because of course we're all different. One other way that you can adjust your shoulder rest, which I can't really do on mine, but some of them do, is you can adjust the placement of this, the angle of that base of your shoulder rest. Sometimes it will turn, mine doesn't really, but yours might, so that could be something to experiment with as well. There's no right or wrong way to use a shoulder rest, and it does require some trial and error at the beginning. So if you just feel uncomfortable while you're playing, I highly recommend just experimenting more, try out different setups, And don't give up in the pursuit of comfortability, because it is so important. It's what's going to allow you to play for long periods of time and keep playing for years and years to come. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the online Violin Academy in the description, and I'll see you next time.